In this part, we will discuss the application of de Moivre's theorem. Number 1. Nth root of unity. The root of the equation z to the power n minus 1 is equal to 0 are called nth roots of unity. Let z to the power n minus 1 is equal to 0. This implies z to the power n is equal to 1. And we know that 1 can be written cos 0 plus I sin 0. This is 1. And we also know that the extended argument of a complex number. And what is the extended argument of a complex number? That is cos theta plus 2k pi, where k may be 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, or and so on. I times sine, that is 0 plus 2k pi. This is equal to cos 2k pi plus I sine 2k pi. Z to the power n, we have cos 2k pi plus I sine 2k pi, where k may be 0, plus minus 1, plus minus 2, and so on. This implies z is equal to cos 2k pi plus I sine 2k pi to the power 1 by n. And by the use of de Moivre's theorem, we know that cos 2k pi by n plus I times sine 2k pi by n. So, the nth roots of unity, that is denoted by ek. Ek is equal to cos 2k pi over n plus I sine 2k pi over n. For k is equal to 0, we can check. For k is equal to 0, E0 is equal to cos 0 plus I sine 0 is equal to 1. 1 always satisfies this equation. For k is equal to 1, E1 is equal to cos 2 pi by n plus I sine 2 pi by n. E2 is equal to, for k is equal to 2. If we put, this is epsilon, this quantity denoted by epsilon, then we have cos 4 pi by n plus I sine 4 pi by n. And we know that with the help of de Moivre's theorem, we can write cos 2 pi by n plus I times sine 2 pi by n to the whole power 2. This is nothing but epsilon square. Similarly, we can check for k is equal to 3. E3, this is equal to cos and 3 to 6 pi by n plus I sine 6 pi by n, and we can write cos 2 pi by n plus I times sine 2 pi by n to the whole power 3. This is nothing but epsilon cube. So in the same manner, we can write e to the power e n minus 1. This is equal to cos 2n minus 1 pi by n plus I sin 2n minus 1 pi by n. This is equal to epsilon to the power n minus 1. So we have nth root of unity 1, 2. That means the nth roots of unity are 1, epsilon, epsilon square, epsilon to the power 3, and so on, epsilon to the power n minus 1. We have n roots. And we already aware with cube root of unity. For example, cube root of unity, cube roots of unity. That means z to the power 3 minus 1 is equal to 0. The roots of this equation are called the cube root of unity, and z is equal to cos 2k pi by 3 plus I sin 2k pi by 3. With the above discussion, we can write for n is equal to 3. We know that epsilon k, this is equal to n is equal to 3. We can put n is equal to 3 in this formula, and we have the value of k may be 0, 1, 2, because for p by q, for cos theta plus I sin theta to the power p by q, we have number of roots are q roots are there. For p by q, number of roots are q. That means number of roots are 3. That is why it is called the nth root of unity and the roots of this equation. And we have cube root of unity. That means we have 3 roots. So if we put k is equal to 0 and e1, e0 denoted by e0 for k is equal to 0, cos 0 plus I sin 0, this is equal to 1. 1 always satisfies this equation. For k is equal to 1, e1, this is equal to cos 2 pi by 3 plus I sin 2 pi by 3. If we denote this quantity as omega by omega, for k is equal to 2, e2 is equal to cos 2 pi by 3, I think 4 pi by 3 plus I sin 4 pi by 3. That is, by this relation, or we can also check cos 2 pi by 3 plus I sin 2 pi by 3 to the whole power 2. That means omega square. And we know that omega cube is 1. Omega q is 1 because for k is equal to 3. This is again that means I am trying to say for k is equal to 3, e3 cos 2 into 3 pi by 3 plus I sin 2 into 3 pi by 3. We have cos 2 pi plus I sin 2 pi, and this is equal to 1. We again get e0. This is e0, and if we check for k is equal to 4, we get omega. If we check for k is equal to 5, we get omega square. That means we have 3 unique roots in 1, omega and omega square. That is why we know that omega cube is equal to 1. We have already aware with this. Now The second application of De Moivre's theorem, find all the values of 8 to the power 1 by 3. This implies z to the power 3 minus 8 is equal to 0. That is, if we take z is equal to 8 to the power 1 by 3, this implies z to the power 3 minus 8 is equal to 0. And the polar form of 8, that is 8 plus 0i. The polar form of this is r cos theta plus I sin theta, where r is equal to under root x square plus y square. 8 square plus 0, this is equal to 8, and this is the length, that means it is always absolute. And theta is 0. We can check tan inverse y by x plus k pi, as we have discussed in the previous part of this video, and y is equal to 0 and x is equal to 8. That means tan inverse 0 plus, and both are positive, that means it is 0. Theta is equal to tan 0, and we can draw the diagram for this point. This point is 8 plus 0i, and the theta is 0. The polar argument is 0, and the length is 8. So the extended argument of complex number we can write z to the power 3 is equal to 8 cos 2k pi plus I sin 2k pi. This is equal to z is equal to 8 to the power 1 by 3 cos 2k pi plus I sin 2k pi to the power 1 by 3. This is equal to 2. And by the De Moivre's theorem, we can write cos 2k pi by 3 plus I sin 2k pi by 3, where k is equal to 0, 1, 2. So we have, for k is equal to 0, z1 is equal to 2 times cos 0 plus I sin 0. This is equal to 2, and 2 always satisfies this equation. Now k is equal to 1. z2 is equal to 2 times cos 4 pi by 3. For k is equal to 2 pi by 3 plus I sin 2 pi by 3. This is equal to minus 1 plus minus under root 3 I. And for k is equal to 2, z3 is equal to 2 times cos 4 pi by 3 plus I sin 4 pi by 3. This is equal to minus 1 minus ka I root 3. So we have 3 solutions for this equation. Now we have an exercise or assignment. Solve z is equal to 1 plus I to the power 1 by 2. This is an assignment, and this is also